Salam, this is Parth with Swift Education. Before the days of DiLL, testing students was a time-consuming chore. The instructor would have to call each student out and test that student individually. This process could take more than one class period. That doesn't sound fun. For this reason, many instructors would only test their student every couple months. At Northwestern University, we said, let's improve upon this. So we created Synchronized Task. In a synchronized task, you as the instructor controls when all your students record and all students record simultaneously. So let's see what it looks like. Synchronized Task can be found by clicking on Task, Begin New Synchronized Task. Just like any other task, name it something that you'll remember. Hit Create and Begin. The first thing that you notice, besides the yellow background, is that all arrows are going from yourself to the students, meaning students can hear your audio, but they cannot talk to you, similar to an all call or broadcast mode. When you're ready to record your students, hit the record button and notice how all students are recording simultaneously. There's a visual cue on your screen that shows that all students are recording simultaneously. On your student's screen, they will no longer have the play, record, or any button available since you're in full control of their recording. Okay, great. So how have instructors used the synchronized task to their advantage? Well, two ways. First is to conduct oral exams with live questions, and second, to record student responses simultaneously to an audio material. So let's look at the first one, oral exams with live questions. I'm going to ask my students 2 questions, and they'll have a couple seconds to respond. If this was a test, I can also lock my students by clicking on Computer Access and DiLL only, so they have access to nothing except DiLL. Okay, so when you're ready, speak your question into the microphone, and all the students will be able to hear from your headsets. When you're ready to record, hit the record button. Let's start. Question number 1, what is your favorite city? And now I hit record. You'll also notice that there's a timer that appears right below the stop recording button. This timer is synchronized with the timer that the student sees on his or her screen. When all the students have answered the question, go ahead and hit stop recording. Question number 2, who is your favorite teacher? Hit record again. Wait for the student responses. Stop. And that's it. That's how you'd conduct an oral exam with live questions. Okay, so what about the second type? The second type of exam is with an audio lesson that you have either created or something from the catalog. So let's use an old AP exam, for example. You can either put in the CD and click on Drive and load that particular soundtrack, or in my case, I've actually loaded an example AP exam in my catalog. Let's click on Catalog, Example AP Spanish Exam 2012, and I'm going to choose the simulated conversation, click Load. The first thing that you'll notice is there's a play button with an audio track loaded right below the catalog and drive buttons. What is that? Well, that's the track that we've loaded. So when I hit play,
Directions. You will now participate in a simulated conversation.
that audio is actually streamed out to all your students' headsets. So when the prompt says, okay, start your recorders, or when you want to record your students, go ahead and hit record. Again, all students will be recording simultaneously. And then when it says stop your recorders, go ahead and hit stop. When you're done with the exam, go ahead and hit end task. Now do note that all student responses are now automatically saved to the DiLL server. You can find it by clicking on DiLL Lab Controller, Review Student Recordings, and clicking on the Synchronized Task. And that's how you'd conduct oral exams with this feature. We hope with this feature that you can test your students more frequently. All the best!